Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we're discussing a 2022 model year launch celebrating a relationship dating back to 2004. This is the IWC Pilot's Watch Chronograph AMG edition, reference 3779-03. 43 millimeters in diameter. It's media blasted titanium. It's 15 millimeters thick. It's 53.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and it has a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and the timepiece wears well. That said, I'm probably at the limit of what's possible. I could wear it on my wrist. I'm going to zoom out to give you a better sense of perspective on size. I could wear this watch without a doubt, but I don't believe a smaller wrist than mine could pull it off. So if your wrist is smaller than 16, you definitely want to seek the smaller 41 millimeter IWC Pilot's Watch size. Taking a closer look, you can see that the watch is low enough to fit underneath most dress cuffs, especially since there's a step to the case flank. So this watch could be worn at the very least with a jacket cuff. The strap is a combination of black textile with a contrasting stitch, and on the bottom calfskin, you can see it's a brand new IWC factory strap, never crimped, never gouged. And the watch includes a media blasted titanium single fold deployant clasp to match. You can see BRO, Brogioli, likely the manufacturer of this part for IWC. It gives you some protection against accidentally dropping this sizable and expensive watch. The case is entirely media blasted, which I like because media blasting tends to reduce the visibility of scratches and swirls. The other thing too is when it goes back to the factory to be refinished, they blast it again. It's not run against an abrasive wheel. Media blast refinishing doesn't remove material, it just recreates the surfacing. That's why I like it on sports watch applications. There's actually a surprising amount of detail to this case. You can see that the lugs come to a tapered point. They're integrated into the case band. There's a little bit of an inward step from the case band to the bezel to pair the visual mass. We have shoulders to help bolster the chronograph pushers, and then a screw down crown, 60 meters water resistance. The bezel has a vertical step, and then it has a slightly inward canted intermediate step, and then it has a final canted conical profile that gives way to a flat upper surface. So there's 4 different surfaces to this rather narrow bezel. Like I said, there's a lot of detail here. We have the IWC logo and Probus Scafusia, the motto of the company, good solid watch made in Schaffhausen. We have a carbon fiber dial with concentric patterns on the sub-registers, and we'll do a lume shot here because I know you're already wondering how luminescent can this gray variety of Superluminova be? Well, we're going to find out now. Surprisingly so. There's absolutely no difficulty reading this watch. The quarters are well marked and the hands are broad and luminous. Taking a look at the dial, you can see everything here is in grayscale. We have several different tones. We have 2 stepped windows, one for the day, one for the date. This movement is capable of double quick setting. So you have the double quick set in one direction and in the other direction. Now we also have the constant seconds subdial down at 6 o'clock, and you can see that the movement has a hacking seconds function, so you can stop the caliber 69385 and set it precisely to a reference time. Now, this is a movement that was developed by Valfleurier, which is a movement development house that spreads its resources across all of the Richemont Group brands. So they'll develop movements for many of the Richemont brands if they need a little extra making muscle. And obviously, IWC is a true manufacturer, so while that they did not design this movement by themselves, they do make this movement by themselves. So that's the origin of the 69385. It is a bidirectional winder with a magic lever style pawl-based winding system that's very similar to IWC's Peloton. You could see we have a column wheel for actuating the chronograph, by the way, 46-hour power reserve. The chronograph is very similar to a Valjoux 7750, although it uses a column wheel, which is crisper than a cam system found on the 7750. Both of them use an oscillating pinion lateral clutch to engage the chronograph. So you see, when I press and hold here, I can actually engage the chronograph with minimal stagger or movement to the seconds hand. Oscillating pinions are considered to be exotic, and they're rarely seen outside of Movements inspired by or based on the 7750 and Haute Horlogerie, as both de Bethune and F.P. Journe have used oscillating pinions because they have less inherent play than a standard lateral clutch. So that's one of the unconventional qualities of this movement. Now, it is adjusted in 5 positions. It pivots on 33 joules. The 5-position adjustment is equivalent to the positional adjustment you'll see on a chronometer. All of this is secured against explosive blowout, so if you're in an aircraft cabin and it depressurizes suddenly, it's not going to discharge the seals, the front or the back crystal here. The movement beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and you can see, though it's mechanically finished, it is nicely decorated. And though the watch is a pilot's watch with a screw-down crown and a 60-meter water resistance rating, it can be used for swimming, provided you put it on a water-resistant strap. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.